It's the guy, DJ and I got my man Cleveland in the building right now, man. Of course, owner of East Oakland Management, winner of Artist of the Year last year, and current runner for Artist of the Year this year as well. Of course, him supporting his mother and a few other artists. I mean, the top 3 artists on Trend City Radio currently is due to the help of this man right here. My man's Cleveland. What's good with you, family? What's good with you?
Hey, man, I'm just loving life, family. Doing what I do, man. Music, you know. Man, I was born and raised in music. My dad had a band called the Creative Set.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was the female vocalist. My father wrote and did all the music. One man band, he did it all. I took that shit for granted, dog. You know, I was just helping out, you know, like a little roadie. I'd go hang out and listen to him. A couple of my friends would come and they go, man, your mom could sing. And, you know, I always pop my collar, man. I told y'all, you know, my mama.
So
you know,
around what year we talking about? Around what year we talking about around this time?
Early 80s.
Early 80s?
Early 80s, yeah.
So your moms and your moms and your dad was out there as so your mom and your dad, they met through music, or how did they meet?
They met, man, at a Christmas party.
A Christmas party?
Yeah, a cousin of ours that went to school with my father introduced my mom. And long story short, you know, a year they got married. My father had a band. He was a drummer, and he switched the keyboard. And, you know, they used to mess around the house. My mom used to sing.
Did he know she was at the time he met her?
Yeah, my mom was singing in church. They had a little group.
Oh, okay. So she was already doing her singing thing before she met your pops.
Yeah, but not professionally.
Gotcha.
You know, household singing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, you know, the way my mom got started, my father called her up one day, you know, this is my wife, blah, blah, blah. She gonna sing a couple of songs for y'all. So they had a following. And the next couple of shows, my mom, you know, she would always go. And one guy yelled out, man, the lady could sing. Let her sing. And that's how it got started. Yeah.
So from that point on, like, did your mother join the group, your father group, or was she just like a solo?
Yeah. It was like, you know, old school Rufus. You know, Rufus and Shaka Khan, which became Shaka Khan.
Right.
So the Creative Set was Carrie Cleveland, and it was then Carrie Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they toured the Bay Area up and down California. And, you know, I had a couple of partners that went to school with me that wanted to learn, but I was a DJ. I was pretty good, and I was almost as good. I'd even say I'll let you win.
Okay, yeah, watch yourself, you know. Pretty nice with it.
Yeah, you know, I messed around in Oakland. Me and Short used to hang out. And I'd do the house parties. He'd come in, you know, grab the microphone. We hit the bathroom and smoke a couple and come out and do the party, you know.
Right.
I messed around and got in this group called the Ansars. And Mac Dre was affiliated. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Mac Dre. Mac
Gotcha.
Dre, Spice One. The dude that I was DJing for was Ascari X. Man, he came out from Philly. He was about 14 years old. And my boy said, nigga, I already talked to his mom. We gonna mess with him. You know, so we was doing our thing in Oakland, messing around with, we all ran in the same circle. Short, the Loonies, Drew Down, my boy the Maestro. He did a couple of songs for Short but Funky, In the Ghetto, and then he did Ice Cream Man for the Loonies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man, we old heads, man.
Yeah, man. So you got quite a history in music. But
yeah. I used to be a doorman in San Francisco, and they would have something called the Gavitt Convention. East Coast and LA would come up to the city for a music convention every year. I met a lot of people, man. I met the Roots.
Yeah.
I met Gangstar. It was funny. When I met Gangstar, back then they had the big brick cell phones, or you had to pay like $4 a minute. So they pull over at a phone booth and call. I was the doorman, so they would give me the directions. And so I knew it was a brother, talking to me. And I said, yeah, family, I got a top hat on, blah, 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 blah. He said, okay, man, I'm gonna look for you. And I asked him what kind of car they was in. So I flagged them down, they pulled up, and the window rolled down, man. They had to pick me up off the ground. I'm like, it's you. I'm like, nigga, I just bought your 12-inch. Who's gonna carry the weight?
Oh man.
Yeah, so I ended up hanging out with him all night long, man. We went to the Gavin, and just hung out, man. They have shows all through the city. I seen Bitches with Attitude. Eazy-E had a group called Cocaine.
Yeah.
Man. I was hooked, and I was like, man, these they funky,
Yeah.
Man. And I ran track with Sway, so me and him was cool. He used to do the radio show here.
Yeah.
So we was like family, man. I was pretty well known in the industry in the Bay. But then to come to where we at now with my mom, I found a box of records, right? And I Googled them. I say, how much is a Kerry Cleveland album? And they said $450. And I'm like, man. And I said, we got 50 of them. I start adding shit up. I'm adding it up. So I just happened to have a homeboy that I had went on an LA trip with to go to the studio. I bumped into him, and he say, man, I'm buying and selling old classic vinyl. And I'm like, man, I got quite a few, my mom. So he took him to a record store, and a couple of days later, somebody called me from the record store saying, man, as a record label, want to sign your mom. I'm like, yeah. So, not knowing nothing about the game, and we signed. And the first quarter went good, man. He spent about 12 racks on the vinyl and the cover and the artwork. It was elaborate, So first quarter went good. We made profit. So I'm all excited. So I'm like, okay, now we didn't made the expenses. Let's see what's gonna happen.
Right.
I was heartbroken, dog. I'm like, man, this is it. Come on, man, something ain't right. So, not knowing the game, the next artist came up, and my mom got kind of pushed to the side. And I promised my dad when he died, I'm taking care of my mom. So I confronted him. I'm like, man, So then, the ghetto came out. I can't reach this dude. He way overseas. I can't go check him. I got to trust him. So I got mad and decided to go on Twitter and do it myself. And I still got a story, man. This one radio station said, yeah, man, we like your mom's music. When we play it, we gonna tag you and you could RT. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And I hung up the phone and I'm like, what the fuck is tag? And RT, what the hell is that?
Oh,
I'm like, what's going on? But then, I Googled RT and I called my cousin and asked her what was tag. So I just started grinding, man. I started grinding. And people start seeing the passion I had for my mom. They would reach out to me, man, we love what you're doing. We're seeing what you're doing. You proud of your mom, huh? I'm like, man, come on, man. If your mom sounded like that, wouldn't you?
Wait, before you go any further, let me get this straight. You basically was just going through some boxes and randomly found your mom old records, correct?
Yep.
And you
okay. Let me tell you. Let me back it up. I'm sorry, man. I'm rambling. I got up one morning,
right,
and knowing my mom had carried the boxes when she moved, because she moved from Oakland out to where we at now. So I got up and she collected them Beanie Babies. So it popped up on Google how much a Beanie Baby was. So we spent all day, man. She pulled them out. We was looking at them. And jokingly, I'm like, how much is a Carrie Cleveland album worth? And that's when it said it. So I ran in the room. Mom, you got a box in the closet, untouched, and not a fingerprint on 50 of them. And they was 40 years old at the time. Wow. So that's how we signed with the record label. They did the distribution and some of the marketing. But then, the love I had for my mom, I started doing it. And I met Future Guru. And, I'm sending him stuff. And he like, man, your mom is dope. And I also, I knew Rankin Screw. He from the town. And he was doing his thing, back in the early 90s. I went to a show and I couldn't believe it. And he had Money B was messing with him. So, I got to know.
So are you talking about from back in the days? Back in the days?
Yeah.
These still are from back in the days.
from back in the day.
Got you.
Yeah.
So
I
when
met
you not to cut you off.